Time now for a check of weather. Michael Clark of BAM Weather joining us this weekend. Michael, we talked about the Texas flooding and the devastation that was in news. But other than the flooding rains, where did we really see rainfall over the past week?
Yeah, the rainfall, the pattern of observed rain has been such an interesting one this year because it's one of those cases where, one guy's gotten plentiful rain. The guy across the street or down the road hasn't gotten any rain. And so it's a tale of who are you talking to and where are you at? Especially if you're outside of eastern Nebraska and Iowa, where it's been more widespread, but Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, portions of Kansas and Missouri, a lot of folks have seen some rain. A lot of folks haven't seen rain in the last 7 days. So it's been a little bit interesting in terms of it's like popcorn on a map with that rain time.
Yeah, and with the heat this past week, I know some of those areas needed more rain than they saw. But Michael, let's now look at where the rain is supposed to fall over the next 10 days.
Yeah, and really, there's not a big lack of rainfall in the forecast unless you're in the western third or the northwestern third of the Grain Belt in the Central Plains and the northern plains there and the Canadian prairies. Now, further east, rain is needed. Listen, we need rain in Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. Despite what anyone's saying, it needs to rain there. The issue is we have models that are waffling back and forth on rain actually falling in these spots. So the biggest area that runs risk of not seeing this rain that you see on the map the next 10 days is Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. Now, with that said, the best coverage of rain is going to come right through Iowa, Missouri, and down in through south central U.S. there. Texas doesn't need any more rain, and then heavier rains there on the East Coast. If we go to the map where we look at this from a normal departure the next 2 weeks, the rainfall forecast departure, you can see where forecast rain is to be above normal. Any green or dark green is an above normal rain forecast out through the 24th of July. Again, my concern is the lack thereof or the rainfall underperforming in the eastern Corn Belt there in Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. So the good news is, Tyne, is that the temperature departure the next 15 days, it is going to cool off. So the heat that we've seen, which we'll talk about in just a moment, the next 15 days shows the forecast charts are much cooler. In fact, most of the area is going to be at or below normal temperatures the next 15 days as a cold front swings through. There'll be some warmth lingering in Ohio and points east, but at least if some of these places don't pick up some needed rains, at least it's cool for the forecast looking forward.
Michael, when you look at the markets and the way the markets are acting, kind of the trade is acting like this has been ideal growing weather for crops this year.
Yep.
You're saying there are some problem areas there, but overall, has it been ideal growing weather?
Overall, yes, it has. We've seen much worse situations and setups. I mean, if you look at the last 30 days, really since the first week of June through now, Illinois needs rain. If there's a spot where we want to talk about there needing to be some moisture, it is Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. They are running about 25 to 50% of the normal. With that said, it has rained. It's not that it hasn't rained. The only thing I'll tell you right now that has my attention is the departure from the normal temperatures at night. The nighttime lows have been elevated. They have been warm. I don't think we're quite in a spot where it matters that much yet, really until we get into pollination phase of the crop, which should be starting soon, or if it hasn't already. The warm nighttime lows, they're not necessarily ideal, but that's exiting. The pattern's cooling a little bit. In my opinion, we are tracking close to 3 years, and this can help. 05, 21, and 24. In 05 and 21, we had above trend yields. The weather patterns gave good crops. 24 was very close. That was our largest crop ever. Right now, indications are the weather is doing what it needs to do for a very large crop to come from it overall.
Michael Clark of BAM Weather, thank you so much for joining us this week. And well, up next, we need to talk markets because as we've been talking about, prices have been pressured. Some farmers seeing cash corn in the $3 range. But USDA did have a report on Friday. Did it produce any surprises? That's our markets right after the break.